Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live. And today I'm going to show you how I made a card with the cute little Scary Cute stamp set bundle from Stampin' Up. It's a Halloween card, obviously, and it's a little Halloween bundle. So again, it's just lots of fun, and it's a shaker card, which hopefully y'all will like the idea of turning this into a shaker card. So I put in a few little sequins, and after I made the card, I actually realized that I put in a few too many sequins. I don't know if you can have too many sequins, but I feel like this one has a few too many sequins in it. So we'll probably do a little less in my card that I'm actually going to be showing you today. So hopefully the final result will be, you'll be able to see the house a little bit better, because like I said, by the time I got done with it, I'm like, oh, that's too many sequins. And then I couldn't take them out. So, because it was already all put together. All right, so hey Pam, thanks for hopping in. So this is the card we're going to be making today, and I actually shared all the details already on my blog today, which is stampwithamyk.com. And so if you head out there now, you will see the details for this card. But I thought I would do a little video on it anyway, just to show you how I made it, because actually one of my customers was working on some Halloween shaker cards and was struggling a little bit with this die set. So I thought I'd just show you what I did and how you can make it work. So hopefully you will get the bundle and then make a few little shaker cards yourself. All right, so that's the card we're going to be making. This is the stamp set bundle. So we've got the Scary Cute stamp set. Hey Patricia, would I need a padded envelope? No, you do not need a padded envelope to mail this. It is thicker. So what I usually do is I have saved the backers from my Designer Series paper packs, and I cut them up into 5.5 by 4-inch pieces. And I would just put one of those little panels right over the top of it, put it into an envelope. You want to take it to the post office unless you have the extra ounce stamps already, but you probably will need the additional 20-cent stamp on it. So it'll be, I don't even know how much postage is anymore. Is it 55 and the additional 20? So it probably would be a little bit more to mail it just because it's a little thicker. So hopefully you can see that the foam adhesive strips do add a little bit of thickness to it, but it's kind of squishable thickness, if that makes sense. So it's not like the domed cards where you do have to put them into a bubble mailer. So this one you can mail in a regular envelope just with the additional stamp on it. So hey, Barbara and Christy, thanks for joining. All right, so back to the stamp set. So this is it. It's a really cute one. Again, just I love the little silhouette images in it. And then it's got some fun little sentiments for Halloween, and there's a to and a from in here. So again, just a fun one for Halloween. If you get creative, you could probably use, like this one, I think you could use as a birthday card. I don't know, because like I said, because she looks just like a little princess to me, and so I think you could use her for other things, not just Halloween. And then this is the coordinating die set, and this die actually is 2 pieces. So we've got, this is the outside frame, and then we've got the inside frame that cuts out the tree pieces. So you can actually use it together, which I used it together on some of the die cuts and then as separate pieces on others. And then there's the little haunted house, and there's a little kitty cat and a moon and a couple of different bats in different sizes. And then there's this little banner die that fits around a couple of the sentiments. Actually, I think all the sentiments maybe will fit in. Yep, I think you put every single sentiment in here. Could be cut out with that little die. So, all right. So there we are. That is the stamp and die set. Hey, Karen, thanks for hopping in today. And Julie, I appreciate you being here. So a couple things before we get going. Yay. This I just put on my blog this morning. Again, stampwithamyk.com. The details are posted out there. This is Stampin' Up! Is doing a 24-hour stamp set sale on Thursday, the 15th of September only. It starts at 12 o'clock a.m., whatever, the midnight hour between Wednesday and Thursday on the 15th Mountain Time, and it runs until 11:50 p.m. Mountain Time. So it's basically a 24-hour sale for the 15th of September, which is Thursday only. There is a list of stamps that are on sale with the sale prices. However, it is every single stamp set in the annual catalog except for the host exclusive stamp sets. So every other stamp set in the annual catalog is going to be on sale. So this would be a great time to pick up those stamp sets you've been waiting on that aren't necessarily bundled, or, you know, stamp sets that you don't necessarily love the bundle with, but this is a great time to do that. They're 15% off. So, and I have been asked, yes, demonstrators do get the discount on top of, so they're going to get the 15% off on top of your already demonstrated discount. So yay for that. So if you're not a demonstrator, this might be a good time to think about it. So also on Thursday, there will be some new weekly deals posted from Stampin' Up. That'll be our third week of weekly deals. They're going to do 4 weeks of them during the month of September. They're just random items that they're discounting from anywhere from 10 to 20% off. So go take a peek. Again, right now there are weekly deals that are going on, and then there are more that will be coming on Thursday. They're going to swap them out last week, and I've sort of understood that Wednesday may be a day where they're going to have both of the deals listed. So just be aware of that. If that's something you want to go take a peek a little early, go look on Wednesday and maybe you can get both the deals. Hey, Akiko. All right, Ink and Crew World Card Making Day. We're doing another event. We've done this for the last couple of years, and it's been a ton of fun. We're going to hop on. We'll set up a Facebook group. It is not set up yet, so don't go hunting for it. We'll all let you know when it's available and when you can come join it. But we have the Ink and Crew will be setting up a Facebook page where we're going to have our event, and then we're just going to have people from the team go live about once an hour to make a card and just share some card making with you on World Card Making Day, which is Saturday, October 1st. There is a time in the middle of the day, which will be 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 4 to 7 Eastern Time, which you'll have to calculate it out for your own time zone because, I can't even keep track of my own time zone. So Stampin' Up! Is going to be doing a World Card Making Day event as well. And so we've got our event kind of running around it. So before it and after it, we've got our event going on. And then Stampin' Up! Has got their event, and both events are free. There's no registration fee or anything that if you don't, nothing to pay for on either side of it. However, Stampin' Up! Is going to be doing some card making presentations with these 3 particular bundles. So it's the Cottage Rose, Cottage Wreaths, and Warm Welcome bundle. The Warm Welcome bundle is a brand new one that is available from Stampin' Up! Right now. And if you order any of these 3 bundles before October 1st, you're going to get a free pack of Iridescent Pearl Basic Jewels with your order. So you do have to add the jewels to your order, just so you know that. They don't automatically go in there, but if you forget to do it and you order through me, just let me know and I'll be happy to call and get your pearls for you. So, all right. Let me know if you have questions on that. Again, more details will be coming as it gets closer, but just put it on the date on your calendar for October 1st. Hey, Laura Lee, thanks for hopping in. And then the final thing, where's the second? Oh, I'm like, where's the second half of this? Stampin' Up! Has got for the month of September their Perfect Partners promotion. They have got some stamp sets from the current annual and mini catalog that they have bundled with some new dies, and you're going to save 10% if you buy them as the bundle. Again, the dies are only available through the month of September while supplies last. The stamp sets are going to be available in the catalogs moving forward, but the dies are only available right now during the month of September while supplies last. So make sure you get them ordered if you're wanting any of these, and you do want them because they're all awesome. So just get them and then you won't be sad later. All right, let me know if you have questions. Again, all the details for this are posted on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. And if you already have the stamp sets on these bundles, you can certainly just purchase the stamp set. Or just purchase the stamp set. Obviously, you could do that. Just purchase the dies. You don't have to purchase them as a bundle. So sorry about that. Goodness. All right, so let's get back to the card. Okay, we have got a basic black card base, and this one is cut to 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. So it's your standard, would be a book fold card if I were folding it, if it were going to be a, vertical card. But we're doing a horizontal one, so it's going to be a top fold card anyway. And I've got a couple of pieces of designer series paper. This one is cut to about 1.5 inches by 5.5. And this one is cut to about 2 3/4 by 5.5. And these are from the Black and White Designs Designer Series Paper Pack. So that's like, I feel like it's Department of Redundancy Department to say Black and White Designs Designer Series Paper, but that's what it is. All right, so we have got this piece, and I'm gluing it down so that the basic gray side of it is up and the basic white side is down on the stripes. I don't know, I just thought for Halloween it was a little spookier looking with the gray as opposed to the white. But if you prefer the white, you can definitely do that instead of the gray. And whoa, it looks like I need to trim this down just a smidgy. I don't know if I cut my card base too small. Hopefully I didn't. I don't know. I should have checked it, I guess, before. No, I think I cut this piece of paper is too big. So, and of course I don't have my trimmer handy, so we'll just wing it. All right. So I'm going to do a little bit of liquid glue underneath the other panel of Designer Series paper. And we're going to stick these two together here over on the edge. And hopefully get them lined up straight here on the top. And it's probably going to drive me crazy to have that. So I may actually, I don't know how apparently I was not paying attention. I'm sure y'all can see that this is totally not at all matching up on the side here. So I'm going to hop over and do a little quick cut on this because my trimmer is of course not on my table. So hang on 1 second and I'll hop off and hop back on. All right, I'm back. I knew that was going to drive me crazy if I was trying to maneuver things around on the card front and it was all bent and weird looking. Okay, so this is the glitter washi tape pack, I think is what these are called. It is, you can find it in the catalog in the same page, the same area as you find this stamp set bundle. And it is a set of 4 different washi tapes, and it's Old Olive, Pumpkin Pie, Highland Heather, and Basic Black. And I am using the Basic Black, obviously, because I'm, doing a black card. Although, again, if you prefer to put a little bit of color on it, you could definitely pick one of the other washi tapes. And, of course, now I can't find the end of the washi tape. What in the world? Poor planning, Amy. And it's like, I totally, there we go. Hi, black, looking at black on black and, and glitter. Oh, heavens. I'm going to be a mess today, I have a feeling. All right, and I'm just going to run this and try to get it fairly straight across the card front. Thankfully, with the stripes and this little diamondy shape, it's somewhat easy to get it lined up straight here on the card front. And then I'm just going to rip this off. There we go. And I'm going to flip it over then and going to take my paper snips and just trim off the excess here on the washi tape so that we're even with the edges. I didn't wrap it around on this one. You definitely could have done that if I had put it on the designer paper before I stuck it on the card front. Could have wrapped it around the edges, but I figured this worked, so that was what I was doing. And I'm going to give this a little quick press down and make sure that it's stuck down well, because sometimes washi tape gets a little, curly, but this seems to be sticking pretty well. All right, ahead of time, I did a little bit of die cutting, and I'll show you the pieces that I used to cut everything so that you know how to do it yourself when you want to do this. So again, the die set has this outside frame as well as the little inside frame that cuts the trees. So I used the outside frame to cut this piece of Designer Series paper. And when I flip, any guesses as to which one it is? If you looked at my blog, you probably know today. But this is actually a Christmas paper. So this is from the Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper. I cut the back. I thought the green sort of looked, again, a little spooky for the background. So, hey, Melanie, thanks so much. I appreciate that. So, looked a little spooky for the background, and so I thought it worked. So, again, I just used the little frame die cut to cut that. And then I've got a piece of Basic Black cardstock that I cut with these two together. It's very easy to run them through the die cutting machine together. So I just put the paper down, put the dies face down over the top of it, and you can use a little bit of Post-it note tape or painter's tape or whatever to hold them in place as you run it through the die cutting machine. But they're pretty easy to get lined up and straight around the edges. So I use them both, ran them through. When I run the dies with the straighter edges on them through my die cutting machine, I try to remember to put them through at a little bit of an angle, just because sometimes when the rollers on the die hit that solid edge, there's like a big thump, and sometimes it shifts things around a little bit when you're doing the die cutting. So I usually try to remember to put them in at a little bit of an angle, and then that helps the rollers to roll right over it without shoving things around and without the big bump and thump as you're trying to get things die cut. And then I've got 3 bats that I cut. The Haunted House, again, all from Basic Black cardstock, and then I use the little Haunted House die, the kind of more medium-sized bat, and then 2 of the smaller bats. And there should be a little moon here that I cut from Mango Melody cardstock. Again, there's the little moon die cut that I used. And the last piece that I cut ahead of time is a piece of window sheet. And again, I just used the outside frame and die cut this with the outside frame die. Now, I will say, for whatever reason, I don't know if it is my die cutting machine, but it took me a couple of times of rolling the window sheet back and forth through the die cutting machine to get it to cut all the way around. And again, I don't know if it's my die cutting machine's a little off, or which it could be because I use it a ton, or if it's just that the window sheets are a little bit harder to cut with the dies. So, all right, so let's get going on assembling this. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to grab a drink here before I start coughing. Okay, so I've got my little house die cut, and I'm actually going to put it down fairly close to the bottom. And I'm just going to stick it with a little liquid glue to the piece of Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper that I have cut ahead of time. And again, I'm not a huge liquid glue fan because I usually make a mess with it, but I do want to make sure that I get it stuck on there pretty well so my haunted house stays in place once I get it stuck in here. All right. Okay. Then the next thing I did was put the little moon next to it. And again, I'm putting everything a little bit lower down on this die cut because of the little trees that you have that you're going to layer over the top of it. So I wanted to make sure that you saw all the little die cuts and didn't miss out on any of those because the trees were in the way. And then I've got the two little bats, and make sure I'm putting this on here the right way around. Just going to take a little dot of glue, hopefully not get too much and have it ooze out everywhere. And then we'll flip this bat over and put it over the top of the haunted house here. And then we'll do the other one on the other side underneath the moon over here. And again, just little dots of liquid glue will do the trick. And try not to stick your fingers in it. I should have probably grabbed my tweezers. All right, so we've got that stuck together. This bat I'm going to be using later when I put the sentiment on, so I'm going to hang on to that. Then I'm going to take my two die cut pieces. So again, this frame is cut from Basic Black and this is cut from window sheets. And I'm going to put just a little bit of liquid glue along the edge. I'm going to really try hard not to get too carried away with the liquid glue, but I do want it all the way along the edge. You could definitely use your adhesive sheets if you think ahead and not like I did. So you can definitely use the adhesive sheets on this if you prefer to do that rather than the liquid glue. But the liquid glue will work as well. And I'm going to take this and flip it over. Again, my window sheet is down underneath here, and I'm going to just line up the window sheet and the die cut together. And I'm going to hold it for 1 second because, again, the window sheets are a little slippery, so it'll slide if you don't give it a second to hold on to it and dry a little bit before you start maneuvering it around. So we've got the frame, the front of the frame all done. Hey Donna, thanks for hopping in. Glad you're here today. And then I have got some of the foam adhesive strips. These come in a pack, and I don't even remember how many were in here. 40 to begin with. And I've had this pack for a really long time. I don't do a ton of shaker cards, but they last a long time because you basically can take them and cut them up into strips however big you need them to be. So now I'm going to make sure that I've got my window sheet stuck down well. And then I'm going to take my little foam adhesive strips and I'm going to start sticking them along the edge here, making sure that they stay inside the frame. And then you take your snips and hopefully snip it off here. And these are pretty flexible, so they bend quite a bit. So we're going to bend it and bend it right around the corner. So I'm going to start. I want to make sure that I get it up as close to the other one as I can. Bend it and smoosh it down and stick it. The official words of card making, smoosh it down and stick it. All right, so we got that done. I'm going to take this little bit and set it over here because we'll probably need it in a second. So then I'm going to grab my next piece, the bigger piece here, and I'll just use the whole one. All right, and then we're going to take that and get it up as close as we can to the end of the piece. Stick it down here, and again, snip it off. And let me set this over here on the little sheet, so hopefully I don't stick it to myself and not where I want it to be. I'm trying to decide, I think this one's going to be long enough. So this is my little snipped off piece that I had used. And again, I'm just curving it around and sticking it in the corner. Then I'm going to take this and we will stick it again, just put it up as close as you can get it to the other little piece. This is the most fiddly part of it. I need to trim that off a little bit closer. A little bit more of that needs to come off because I'm afraid it's going to stick out if I don't. So there we go. I'll just trim that down a little bit and toss that little piece out. But it's still pretty easy to do. So, all right. So again, I'm going to take this and bend it around the corner and snip it off. And I know it's a little bit more work to snip it in between them, but I find that this works better than trying to keep it as one long solid piece of the foam adhesive strips. Just because it's easier to maneuver, easier to place things when you're using the smaller pieces, rather than trying to use a huge piece and stretch it and get it to go in the right place. It's a little easier if you just kind of cut it up and again take the extra second to do the snipping on it, and then it's all good. All right. So there we go. So we've got the foam adhesive strips all the way around the edges. So hopefully you can see that, and it's hidden on the front when you flip it over. Now, obviously, if you look at the side, you're going to be able to see it, but if you look at it from straight on the front, you shouldn't see any of the foam adhesive strips. All right, next up, we are going to take, these are some of the For Everything Fancy sequins. They come in a box, and there are 3 different colors in here. There's pink, kind of a pink iridescent, kind of a bluish, and then the green ones. And again, because I went with the green background, I went with the green sequins. So you could cut more tiny bats and add the shaker. Oh, that's a good idea, Ethel. I hadn't thought of doing that. That would definitely be cute to throw some extra little bats in there. So this time around, I'm going to try to be not quite as generous with the shaker pieces in here because, like I said, last time I got a little carried away and almost covered up the whole house with the sequins, and I got all done. I'm like, oh no, that's too many sequins, and it was too late. So I just did 2 kind of little pinches. Hopefully that will be enough and not too few, but it's one of those, delicate balance things. You either have too many or too few in there. Now I'm going to peel the backing off of the foam adhesive strips and show you how easy it is to make the shakers. So if you haven't made a shaker card, I know a couple of you on here told me that you'd never made one before, and I'm shocked because they're so easy to do. You definitely should give it a try because, like I said, they're super easy. And even if you have a rounded piece that you want to do it on, these foam strips are flexible enough that you can bend them right around. Again, I'd recommend cutting it up a little bit, but they're really easy to do. So this is the most difficult part for me, and I'm going to stand up and stand over this and hope that I get it lined up correctly. But there we go. Okay, now I'm just going to press down and make sure that I've got all of the edges sealed up, and then there's your little shaker, and that's all there is to it. So main thing is just getting the foam adhesive strips all the way right around the edges of it, and then you got your little shaker all done. All right, so that's card that's already done. Here's the one we're working on. And now I'm just going to grab a little bit of, I'll use liquid glue probably on this. And just going to put a little on the bottom, leave a little space in the middle and a little on the top. And flip it back over here. And we're going to stick it to the card front. All right, smush it down here. Hold on to it for a second. So. All right, and there we got our shaker on the card front. And I don't know, like I said, I think I like it a little better with a few less. Like I said, I got a little carried away, kind of went a little overboard with the sequins on the first one, but I feel like this one's got just the right amount. I don't know, you can decide. You can put more or less in if you want more or less, but it's up to you. All right, so let's finish this up. I've got a piece of basic gray cardstock and the sentiment from the Scary Cute stamp set, Tuxedo Black Memento ink. Just going to ink up the sentiment, hopefully get it good and inky, stick it here in the on the piece of basic gray cardstock. All right, that looks good. Close that up and hopefully not stick my fingers in it. And then I'm going to grab my die set and grab the little banner die, which fits perfectly around the sentiments on this stamp set. And I'm going to go run it through the die cutting machine. Oh, thanks, Akiko. It's a fun little card to make. Like I said, if if you have kids, grandkids, whatever, I think it'd be perfect. Teachers, whoever. So anybody that loves Halloween. All right, almost done here. Okay, we got the die cut. And let me show you that. Oh, there we go. All done. Now, one thing to know about the foam adhesive strips is that they are a little bit thicker, like taller than regular Stampin' Dimensionals. So when I went to put this on, I actually originally started with Stampin' Dimensionals, but it kind of sunk down a little bit. So I just used, to fix that, just used the foam adhesive strip to adhere the sentiment on as well. Now I'm going to make sure, there we go, make sure that I'm scooted over just a little bit to the right-hand side of the die cut, just because I know that I'm going to be having some of it overlap on the frame, and I don't want the adhesive strips to get in the way. So just take 2 little bits of that and peel the backing off. I know, I totally missed seeing those sequins too, and actually I didn't even think that I had them. Apparently I must have ordered them somewhere along the line, but they were stuffed in the bottom of my drawer, and I'm like, sequins, because the only ones I could find looked like snow, and I knew I didn't want snow in there, but yeah, I found them. They're in the catalog. They're in with all the embellishments. The picture of them does not do them justice as far as what you actually get in the pack. It looks like just a few of them. It's a huge packs of sequins. So just know that you're getting a lot of sequins when you are ordering that pack. All right, I've got a little bit of liquid glue that I'm going to use to stick down the third bat here. I don't know, we would call him the third wheel since he's off all by himself. And I'm going to just give it a second to make sure he's stuck down well. And then the last thing on the card front is I've got a couple of rhinestones that I'm going to color. I've got dark basic black Stampin' Blends marker, and just going to color one of the larger ones and 2 of the smaller ones with the dark basic black Stampin' Blends marker. So you can color most of the Stampin' Up! Embellishments, most of the shiny little ones like this, with a Stampin' Blends marker. And you can turn them into whatever color you want them to be. So that's the one nice thing, that if you have an embellishment and you want a pool party for some reason, and we don't have a pool party embellishment, you can always just grab a rhinestone or a pearl and color it, and then you're all set. So, all right, now to see if I can get this stuck on the card front without ending up with ink all over me. I think I hopefully gave it long enough to dry. If not, we can always color them a little bit more. So I've got the 3 of those. Yep, there we go. All right, and stick those down, and that's all there is to the card front. So got our little shaker in there, got a couple little rhinestones on there, a little bat, a little sentiment, designer paper. So you think the beady things would be good? Actually, I thought about that, and Karen Kay and I had a discussion about the little roly beads. The only problem when you're doing this type of a card is that you have to have a way to contain the beads. So sequins stay put, usually, when you put them in the center of the card, where the roly things may not stay put as well. So the roly things work well inside the domed type, I don't know, embellishments, I guess is what you can call it. But I don't know how well they would work inside of a shaker card unless you had a way to kind of contain them a little bit. Which, if you do, then great. Or maybe just try to put a few in there and see if you could get them to stay. But I was afraid that I would end up with roly pieces everywhere. So, all right, to finish the inside of the card, I've got basic white cardstock cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and just a little piece of trimmed off Designer Series paper from the Black and White Designs Designer Series paper pack. This is about 5/8 of an inch by about 5 1/4, and we're just going to stick that on the inside of the card, right after I smack into my light, that is. All right, let's close it up, do a little crease with the bone folder, and we're all done. So that's it for the card. So they're super easy to do. I definitely hope that you will give the shaker cards a try. And like I said, they're cute, they're fun. I don't know. I would say kids love them, but I think I love them as much as any kid would. So, so definitely give it a try. To me, the main thing that you need to use is these foam adhesive strips because they're super easy to stick on and bend around and cut up into whatever sizes you need them to be. So if you don't have a pack of these, be sure to get them. And yeah, then you can make all kinds of shaker cards. And like I said, I'm looking forward to making a few more for the holidays as well. All right, that is it. Good heavens, I can't believe I carried on for 20 or actually almost 30 minutes. So thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. I have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll plan to be back around 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday on my YouTube channel live, and then back here around 2 o'clock Eastern Time next week, Tuesday, live on Facebook. Again, the details are already posted on my blog for this one. I will link it up as soon as I get off the video here. I'll link up the blog post in the description of this video so you'll be able to find it and find all the details about the card. And also check out the Team Blog Hop because a whole bunch of people posted Halloween cards and we're all linked up together. So go peek at the Blog Hop too. All right, let me know if you have questions on anything. Have a wonderful rest of your day and we will chat soon.